Queen Elira was a good ruler. She was strong and fair. Her kingdom of Eldoria was safe under her care. She became queen after her husband, the king, passed away. The people loved her. They saw her strength every day. She worked hard to make sure everyone had food and a safe home. She did not rest much. Her duty was to her people, and she carried this duty with great seriousness. She believed a good leader must put the kingdom first, before her own heart. This was the lesson her father, the old king, had taught her, and she never forgot it. Even with the love of her people, the queen was lonely. The large castle felt empty at night. Her days were full of meetings and decisions, but her evenings were quiet. The court advisors started to talk. They whispered in the hallways and in the gardens. They said the queen needed to marry again. A king would make the kingdom stronger, they argued. A new marriage would bring a powerful alliance. They did not understand that Elira's heart was closed. Love had brought her pain before, and she was afraid to trust it again. She did not want a marriage for politics. She wanted to rule with her own strength. The queen listened to her advisors with a patient face. She heard their words about duty and tradition. They presented her with portraits of princes from faraway lands. They spoke of their wealth and their armies. But Elira saw only strangers. She did not see a partner or a friend. Her first marriage was arranged, a duty she had fulfilled for her kingdom. It was not a marriage of love. Now she was the ruler. She did not want to be a piece in a political game again. She wanted to choose her own path, but the pressure was immense. Elira often walked in the royal gardens to think. The flowers and the quiet paths helped her feel calm. She would watch the sun set over the castle walls, painting the sky in colors of orange and purple. In these moments, she was not just a queen. She was a woman with a heavy heart. She missed having someone to talk to, someone who understood her without needing words. She missed simple friendship. The crown was beautiful, but it was also a heavy weight to carry all by herself. She wondered if she would ever feel true happiness again, or if her life would only be about duty. Commander Cale was the Queen's personal bodyguard. He was the blade of the Queen, the best warrior in the kingdom. His loyalty to Elira was known by everyone. He was always near, a silent and watchful shadow. He never spoke unless spoken to, but his presence was a comfort. He had served the royal family for many years, and he respected the Queen more than anyone. He saw her dedication and her quiet sadness. He saw the strong ruler, but he also saw the lonely woman behind the crown. His duty was to protect her life, but in his heart he wanted to protect her happiness too. Their connection grew in small, quiet moments. It was not built on grand words, but on simple actions. When the Queen worked late into the night, reading long documents, Cale would bring her a cup of warm tea without being asked. He would just place it on her desk and step back into the shadows. When she walked in the gardens, he kept a respectful distance, but he always made sure the path was safe. He noticed the small things, like which flowers made her smile. He would tell the gardeners to plant more of them along her favorite path. These small kindnesses were a language only they understood. One evening, the Queen was practicing with her bow and arrow. She was a skilled archer, a skill her father had taught her. She was struggling to hit the center of the target. Her mind was full of worries. Cale watched from a distance. After a moment, he stepped forward. "Your Majesty," he said softly, "your shoulder is a little too high." He did not touch her, but he showed her the correct position with his own body. Elira followed his advice. Her next arrow flew straight and true, hitting the very center of the target. She turned to him with a real surprised smile, and he smiled back. In that shared moment, something changed. The distance between Queen and bodyguard became smaller. They started to talk more. She would ask him about his day or his training. He would tell her simple stories about his life before he came to the castle. They found comfort in these conversations. She learned that he loved to read poetry, and he learned that she loved to watch the stars. Their friendship became a small secret garden in the middle of a busy and demanding court. It was a place where she could be just Elira, and he could be just Cale, a place where their hearts could speak. Their growing closeness did not go unnoticed. The court advisors, who wanted the queen to marry a foreign prince, saw Kale as a problem. They started to whisper new rumors. They said the commander was getting too close to the queen. They said he was a distraction from her royal duties. These whispers were like poison, meant to create doubt and separate them. Some nobles were afraid. If the queen chose a common bodyguard, their own power and influence would be less important. They saw love not as a strength, but as a threat to the old ways of the kingdom. The danger became real one day. An assassin, hired by a jealous noble, tried to attack the queen while she was riding her horse outside the castle walls. The attack was sudden and violent. But Kale was always ready. He moved faster than anyone could see. His sword was a blur of silver as he fought off the attacker, protecting Elira with his own body. He was injured in the fight, a deep cut on his arm, but his only concern was for her safety. He stood between her and the danger, his loyalty shining brighter than any crown. He proved that his love was not just a feeling, but a shield. After the attack, Elira refused to leave Kale's side while the healers tended to his wound. She cleaned the cut herself with a gentle hand. In that quiet room, the titles of queen and commander disappeared. They were just two people who cared deeply for each other. "You saved my life," she whispered, her voice full of emotion. "It is my duty and my honor," he replied, his eyes never leaving hers. She knew then that this was more than friendship. This was a love that was willing to sacrifice everything, a love that was stronger than any army or alliance. This event made them both stronger. Elira realized that true strength was not found in political marriages, but in trust and loyalty. Kale's bravery showed everyone that his place was by her side. He protected her with his sword, and she protected him with her power as queen. She confronted the nobles who had plotted against her. She did not execute them, but she stripped them of their titles and sent them away from her court. She showed them that she was a queen who would not be controlled by fear or tradition. She would rule with justice and with love. The time for secrets was over. Queen Elira knew what she had to do. She called a grand assembly in the throne room. All the nobles, advisors, and important people of the kingdom were there. They stood before her, expecting an announcement about a royal marriage to a foreign prince. They were ready for the old traditions to continue. The room was silent as Elira stood up from her throne. She looked over the crowd, her gaze strong and clear. She was not the lonely, uncertain woman she once was. She was a queen who knew her own heart and her own mind. She walked down from the throne and stood before her people. Kale stood at his usual post, a few steps away. Then she did something no one expected. She walked over to him and took his hand. A gasp went through the crowd. For many months the queen began, her voice ringing with confidence. "You have advised me to marry for the good of the kingdom. You have told me that I need a king to be strong. You were wrong." She held Kale's hand tighter, and he stood proudly by her side, his love for her clear for all to see. He was her partner, not just her protector. True strength, Elira declared, does not come from a crown or a title. It comes from loyalty, honor, and love. Commander Kale has shown me the meaning of all these things. He has protected me. He has supported me. He is my partner, my most trusted advisor, and the person I love. She then announced a new royal decree. From that day forward, no one in Eldoria would have to hide their love because of their station or birth. Love was not a weakness or a secret to be ashamed of. It was a strength to be celebrated, a treasure to be held openly and with pride. The kingdom changed that day. The old rules gave way to a new understanding. The people of Eldoria saw a queen who was not afraid to lead with her heart. They saw that love and duty could exist together. Queen Elira and Commander Kale ruled side by side for many years. Their story became a legend, a tale of the queen and the blade. It was a story that reminded everyone that the bravest act of all is to love freely and to build a world where everyone has the right to do the same. Their love did not just change their lives, it changed their kingdom forever.